Now, I want to get into some potential changes to the market, Nick, because this is huge, man. I saw this update take place. We're talking about a different collector's market, but one that will tie to comic books potentially, and the ramifications are huge. Some of the biggest that I've seen take place in quite a long time. We're talking about eBay sports cards getting beta tested to demonstrate worth via eBay. Can you explain what's going on, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, eBay is doing what you would have thought maybe would have happened a long time ago, which is making pricing history available to users of the site. And, they're allowing a certain amount of collection management. So like you can save what you own to whatever interface that they have. And again, this is just baseball cards right now. It's like a beta test, but you can expect it to branch out. So you could save your items to a collection management, and then you can see sort of in real time in terms of eBay how much your book is worth. So based on probably what the most recent sales, probably they're going to have some options for some averaging of a certain time frame of sales, graphs spiking, dipping. It's going to be madness.
Game-changing stuff. These types of analytics are honestly some of the prime avenues that some sites and guides use as the backbone of their service. Keeping track of multiple platforms, including the prime hub that is eBay.
It is the prime hub because it's like there's nowhere else that has that sort of worldwide action going on, that much buying and selling. I mean, so it makes sense. I mean, it's kind of wild, and I don't mean to get off on a different subject, but just as a tip, sort of, because I forgot to put it into the last Hot 10, but books sell on eBay for a good amount. A lot of, every week we do the Hot 10, which is, what we try to do is get 3 points of data of record-breaking sales on an issue, and that's what qualifies the book to make the list. But I see quite often, on the auction sites where you expect everything to sell for higher, there's a lot of times on eBay where the books are selling for higher in Silver Age and Bronze Age. And then you go to the auction site and the modern books in 9.8 and even copper, you could get some of those for a steal. And I know that might be counterintuitive to Key Collector Comics, but I recommend people take a look at some of the auction sites. You got Comic Link, you got Heritage. And if you're looking at a modern book, just see if it's on there.
It's funny because like on the other end, covering the Hot 10 like we have and providing this to the community, which you can watch that show with Gem Mint every single week.
It's your boy Gem Mint.
What's up, Gem Mint?
Comic fam, what other podcast are you getting Gem Mint on the damn soundboard? We are talking the Bags and Boards podcast. Hit the subscribe button. But we've covered on the Hot 10 multiple occasions where what you just said is correct, where you're going, wait a minute, what did that modern book just go for on eBay? But then on the other end, Comic Link hitting high sales that we can't even fathom. Like we're having conversations. You're calling me up going, I don't understand. Like, I know the centering is great on the Silver Age book. I know the color looks better. Like the inks are as vibrant as they were when they came, to the store originally in 1970, what have you. But they're selling for like 80% more than market value. We just saw this book sell on eBay for $3,000-$4,000 less. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, there is something about that, though. There is something about one, like I said before, not all 9.8s are created the same. Not all 9.6s are created the same. You have books that have a better vibrancy. It's almost like diamond clarity, right? You have some books that if you put them side by side, 9.6s, there's a difference. You could tell which one is a more desirable book than another. Even some of when it starts getting into lower grades, like a Hulk #1 and a 3.0 looks like this, and another 3.0 looks totally different. You even wonder how the hell they're the same grade. And one's going to go for a lot more because it's got more eye appeal. And that's a big thing to collectors who are buying graded books in high dollar amounts.
When I was hitting Torpedo Comics, I was hunting for a bunch of Next Gen Hero 9/8 books, right? I was looking for reread, didn't find it. Found a, all new Marvel Now .1 and got really hyped about that. So shout out to the member who sold me that. But I was shopping for a Amadeus Cho, right? Amazing Fantasy 15 at 9.8. And there was a 9.8 that I found. It was the only one in the entire show floor. And I'm looking at this thing and I kept coming back because it was essentially what it was going for on the market. I think it was like $1,700, somewhere around there. And I had it in hand and I was looking at just a couple spine ticks. That was bothering me, and sometimes that happens. 9.8 actually has a little leeway, right? They weren't as color breaking as maybe they could potentially be that would bring it down to a 9.6. But the thing that stopped me from purchasing it was that it had some print rub. It had a line from the printer going down just like a little bit from the center of the book through the trade dress. And it prevented me from putting the money down. I just kept thinking to myself, if I'm gonna pay about $1,500 for this book, I'm gonna buy one that looks pristine, as close to pristine as possible. And knowing that even this was production, and even though it was in a slab, like there's a lot of members who say once it's in the slab, it doesn't matter. It's a 9.8, a 9.8's a 9.8. Well, it's not anymore.
It matters. I mean, people are going to, if you want to resell that later on, you're going to have a problem if there's more than one that's for sale, because if yours has that, it's like, it makes me think that there should be like another aspect of grading that should be developed, because how do you account for these things?
Another subcategory. We just got CGC to take on the newsstand just in the last few years, so you never know.
Well, yeah, it's probably a terrible idea because then it would take longer for a book to get graded right. So just forget I said anything.
Oh, ouch, feeling it. All right, well, as it pertains to this eBay transition where we can get real-time accurate pricing on sports cards for now, but you got to assume, once one collectible gets that treatment, the next would be Funko Pops, and then the next would be comics. Who knows? What do you see happening to the collectible market with this information? Like, what can you hypothesize in this just radically changing this game that we're in?
I mean, all information, look, right now it's, looking at eBay prices, you got to individually type in and look up every price on eBay. So it's going to make it more accessible. It's going to make it easier. I actually remember I was talking to eBay 6 months ago and they alluded to something about the pricing, but they wouldn't tell me what it was. And it's funny that it's this, because you kind of wonder, can they pull it off? Can they create something that collectors use and that it's, pulls in the pricing in a way that's easy to look? Because a lot of times eBay will implement something and it just throws everybody off, right? Or they're not like a company that's going to, and I could be wrong, but do a good amount of market research about what people are wanting, about what people want with a resource like this. So are we going to get their best guess based on, numbers and analytics and just, some coders that are putting together a platform for us to use? Or are we going to get something that is truly something that we can have a bunch of filters and look at things in a bunch of different ways? And if they're successful at it, it's going to make that aspect of collecting a lot easier, but it's also going to be a bit of a problem for, some like Overstreet, like, is that necessary anymore? Is Overstreet necessary in that way? Is, some of the other sites that are out there that are totally pricing based and cataloging books based, where do they fit into the game with eBay coming in with this type of resource?
That's the question. Comic fam, I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below.